Abusia, Wednesday, and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama holding his first meeting with the press for his second term. And that is what I want us to talk about today. My name is Didi. You're watching me from ANC Empire Radio.
The budget statement is going to be read in November. And in the budget statement, details of these projects will be included in the budget.
Now, before we get into it, first off, I must say that we should commend our president. I mean, for some of the things he made mention of, that there has been some improvements in some of the things that even we can attest to it. If for nothing at all, yenim say although it's not really to the maximum, but still, it is being worked on.
The last time the GJA came to me, I mentioned to them that as the world changes and new technologies come, we're moving from not having just the traditional media into having what we call the new media.
Amongst the many things he made mention of was the improvements in our health sector. I mean, the distribution of various health equipment, the works being done by our health ministry, making sure that everything is in line, as well as the tremendous improvement in our education. Because that particular sector, I mean, say if for nothing at all, before head of the no-fee stress policy, that according to the president, has refunded the fees of over 120,000 first-year students. And not just that, Ochima, very soon there's going to be the commencement of free tertiary education for people and also persons with disability. He also touched on the conditions of various media houses, especially those owned by governments, as well as the recent assault and also attacks on journalists, and even promising that he's going to see to it that these things are stopped, and I say various punishment for people and as whatever will be done. Now let's get into what is making people talk. What is making people make a fuss about the whole engagement between the president and the press? The first thing is the issue of galamsey, and the second is the freedom of speech. Looking at the fact that Ghana is a democratic country, Madali, no, I'm going to give you the full details.
These are all the new social media instruments like TikTok, like Facebook, like X, and all of them. And so the traditional sense of journalists like you, most of you trained and working in media houses that have a corporate identity and can be held responsible for the information that you put out, is beginning to change.
You name him say, one of the many things that the NDC people fought for when they were in opposition was the issue of galamsey. Always on the necks and heads of MPP government, you people should declare a state of emergency for galamsey. When galamsey has gotten to, we need to declare it as a state of emergency. And before Kwa or Musasha say, there are the people involved in a whole lot. Now, NDC, you are in power. You have the sole mandate to do whatever thing that you were pressuring the MPP government to do. And now the president is telling us that we cannot declare galamsey as a state of emergency because we have now exhausted all the available mechanisms and also ways of curbing it. And until all those things are done, galamsey under the NDC government cannot be declared as a state of emergency.
I've been reluctant to implement a state of emergency in the galamsey fight because we've not exhausted the powers we even have without a state of emergency. We have the opportunity to arrest anybody, to confiscate any such thing. There are laws for forest protection and all that give us enough powers to be able to act. Implementing a state of emergency might sound nice, but it should be the last extreme, the last resort. So for now, let's exercise all the powers we have.
Now, you got the issue of the freedom of speech. You mean, it's freedom of speech, as we all know, giving people the liberty to say whatever they want to say, as of when, how, however they deem fit, what they want to say, blah, 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 blah. President Ichema, what's not saying who said with the emergence of this new media, that is social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and whatever that there is, these platforms have given people the avenue to say, phone, camera, and see, data, the phone is so many. They go on and say whatever they want to say. They don't care who they are addressing. They don't care their manners. Just say, President Ichema, henceforth, this thing is going to stop. He is going to put an end to this.
We have a new crop of I'll call them neo-journalists, who anybody with a phone and a camera can report news or comment on national issues. Now, the point is, who holds those people responsible?
According to the president, the National Signals Bureau now have the sole mandate, and now so they can now track you down with your IP address. It's what for phone or your video. All kinds of person can, mind you, you can be traced and you can be arrested. You can be brought before court to face what? Persecution.
It falls in the ambit of the National Signals Bureau. And so the National Signals Bureau now has the technology to use your IP number and find you wherever you are. So I'm sending a signal to Ghanaians that we can find you those doing those hate speech and things. We'll use your IP number, we'll trace you. And when we trace you, we'll deal with you under the criminal code for inciting violence and disturbance of the peace.
Personally, I feel that this whole initiative of the president keeping our press and us media abreast with his move, with his intentions of what the NDC government wants to do is really of the best. But then also we plead with you, our president, in as much as you are giving us the information that you want, we want you to really go in depth. Because when you are brand say the whole year and that's show the whole video now. During the questions and answer period, no, people were really expecting him to go deeper to the questions they asked. But I said he was not really giving them the answers that they want. But then all in all, like I said, he's keeping us abreast. So if this is something that can be done frequently, at least okay, what the government intends doing. Yes, we know you face challenges to come back, you tell us. That way there is transparency, there is accountability, and people will also be keeping in touch. We will now serve as our own watchdogs because you are keeping us informed and we are also holding you accountable for your actions. Guys, this is why I come to the end. So I won't share a video now. I know the video is very lengthy, like over 2 hours, but then and you understand every little thing I said on here. Thank you so much for staying tuned with me. I'll see you in my next video.